name is Celina. I graduated the class of 96 from Lake Pondere High School. This is my daughter.
Yeah, my name is Kaya, and I started attending LPO in 2010, and I would have graduated with class of 2014.
I went to the high school when I got to Sandpoint. There was about 800 kids at the time, and I was completely overwhelmed. So I stayed for a full week, so 5 days I lasted, and I didn't know what to do, but I really wanted to graduate high school. And somebody told me about Lake Pondere High School, so I checked it out. I felt very comfortable. The teachers were very involved and attentive and helpful. How I thought it would be really hard for me to graduate because I had failed out of ninth grade and received 0 credit. And I ended up being able to make up some of those credits at Lake Pondere High School with the help of the teachers. I ended up getting pregnant the year before I graduated, which I thought might be the end of my high school career, but there was a daycare. They would come and get me out of class and let me nurse my daughter. So she started attending Lake Pondere High School at 0. Yeah, we graduated.
Obviously, my childhood, early years were a little bit rocky.
That I had substance abuse issues in high school, and so that was really difficult. And they worked with me to help me, stay in school, even though I was struggling with using and drinking, and that led to a pretty rocky childhood for Kaya.
So, yeah, I basically never enjoyed school. I had really bad social anxiety pretty much from the time that I could remember. And I think by like the fourth grade, I was convinced that there was something like fundamentally wrong with me. I pretty much just went to school because that was what you were supposed to do. We had a meeting with my mom and the counselors, and I think maybe even someone from LPO. They all just said, we think that this is not the learning environment for you, and we think that it would be better if you just started LPO at the beginning of your freshman year. I had like pretty normal friends all the way up into 8th grade. And so I just felt like I was constantly like playing the charade of everything's fine, I'm normal. And so I felt like if I went to the LPO that would be like death of my social life. I don't even think I made it a week at the high school before I just said, okay, I'll go to the LPO because I knew that I wouldn't make it. At that time, I was really pretty much convinced that there was something wrong with me and that I would never graduate and that school was just another thing that I did because that was what everybody else did. Like by my first semester at LPO, I had A's and B's and I enjoyed school. I felt like the teachers really cared about me and that if I was confused about something or if I didn't understand that I could ask and I felt safe to do that. It was never like an intelligence issue. It was always, I think, just about anxiety and feeling like I had nowhere to turn. So the thing about the LPO and the teachers at the LPO was that they knew that about me. They took the time to like understand and see that I knew what was going on in class. There was just certain things that would cause me to fall behind. So, and the counselors at the LPO just taking time out of their day to make sure that they were checking in with me and seeing how I was doing.
It was really cool to go, to the same school and then have Kaya attend the same. That building is just so beautiful and the architecture in there. And I remember walking in there to talk to the teachers or to see Kaya in class, and just the feeling of that building is so special. I painted on the walls when I was a student there. That was encouraged by. I mean, it wasn't like graffiti. It was a class.
Art.
It was a class project. Which I got credit for. So there's something really warming about being back in that building and seeing Kaya back in that building. Proposition of changing the way that the program is today is really devastating to me, both as a person who attended Lake Pondere High School, a person who was a parent to a child who attended Lake Pondere High School and a professional in the community, I find it devastating that they would change any of the program.
Yeah, so obviously my problems did not end with going to high school and feeling like I had educational support. In ninth grade, my freshman year in high school, I started dabbling with drugs and drinking a lot. Knowing that I struggled like that and feeling like I had somewhere separate to go than the high school, where maybe there was a lot more pressure to feel like I had to act or behave a certain way. And even though I was struggling with drugs and alcohol, feeling like I was still safe to prioritize my education was very important for me. And even though I did not graduate, I learned a lot from attending the LPO and my relationships with the teachers and the counselors. And not to say that I wasn't held accountable, because I definitely got in a lot of trouble at LPO with my extracurricular endeavors.
Yeah, the separation of where the two schools are is really nice. It creates some
Safety.
safety because part of what was a struggle for me was how many kids there were. And there was just so many. And so but I did think that I was stupid and had some learning disabilities, but I learned there that I could succeed. And later on, after I got sober, I was able to get my master's degree and become a therapist and help people in the community, which started with being helped by Lake